Hey there and welcome back to the channel. How do volcanoes work is the topic of today's episode. So let's jump right into the video. Hey there, welcome to Mini Science, where we make science fun for little minds. Today we will answer the question, how do volcanoes work? To help us answer this, we have invited a special guest. This is our pal Volcano. Hi there. He lives near a volcano and wants to learn all about it. So why don't you join him in today's mini science experiment? Let's get started. Part 1, Inside the Earth. First, let's talk about what's inside the Earth. Our planet is divided into 3 sections. The outer layer is called the crust. We live on the crust. It's made of solid rock and dirt, but under the crust is the mantle. The mantle is really hot, but it's still solid. The heat from the mantle makes the rock bend and flow very slowly, kind of like honey. Under the mantle is the core of the Earth. The core is super hot and also a liquid. There is so much pressure under the mantle that it melts the rock and turns it into a liquid. The liquid rock inside the Earth is called magma. Sometimes this magma works its way up toward the surface of the Earth through cracks in the crust. When this happens, we call it magma. If it reaches the surface, it's called lava. Let's ask Volcano if he knows any of this. What do you think, Volcano? Do you know what's inside the Earth? Well, so far, this sounds like exactly how volcanoes work. But there's a lot more to know. So let's keep asking questions. Part 2, eruption time. If the Earth's crust has so many holes, why don't the layers just come out of the holes? A good question. What do you think happens, Volcano? Actually, sometimes they do come out, and that's called an eruption. Have you ever seen an eruption before? When magma erupts out of a hole in the crust, it looks like this. The magma flows out, and since it's not under pressure anymore, it's called lava. Lava can flow for miles and cover whole cities. Sometimes during an eruption, the pressure under the Earth's crust is really high. When the pressure is really high, the Earth shakes and rocks fall from the sky. These falling rocks are called tephra. Sometimes tephra looks like ash, but it can also be big rocks. Ash can travel around the world. During an eruption, hot gas and steam are released along with the lava. Hot gas and steam plus the ash and smoke make a cloud. Ash, cinders, rocks and gases all coming out of the volcano at once make a huge explosion. Some volcanoes explode with such force that they blow their tops off. The hole left behind is called a crater. All these parts together, including the hole, are called a volcanic vent. Eruptions can be big or small. They can last a few hours or several days. Now you know how an eruption happens. But do you know why an eruption happens? Well, let's find out. Part 3, why do volcanoes erupt? For a long time, people thought the Earth's crust had holes like Swiss cheese. They thought the cheese was melting and dripping out, so they called it a volcano. But now we know better. As you learned earlier, the Earth is made of 3 sections: the core, the mantle, and the crust. The core is very hot, but only some of the mantle and the crust are hot. What makes them hot? Radioactive elements in the Earth's core give off heat. This heat warms up the mantle and the crust, but it doesn't warm up the core because the core is already hot enough. The heat rises from the core to the crust. This heat gives energy to the rocks in the mantle and the crust. The energy makes the rocks move. They bend and shift. As they move, they give off stress. Sometimes the stress is too much for the rocks to handle, so they break. When they break, the rocks release their energy. The energy causes an explosion. The explosion lets the magma escape, and an eruption happens. So an eruption happens because of built-up energy. Now you know why it happens. But do you know when it happens? Well, let's find out. Part 4, when do volcanoes erupt? Sometimes the Earth gives off a little shake, but there isn't an eruption. The Earth gives off little shakes because of normal everyday things. Cars, trains, planes, and people walking all make vibrations. These vibrations make the Earth shake. Scientists use machines called seismographs to measure vibrations. A A seismograph is used to detect earthquakes. Earthquakes happen when energy is released suddenly and the earth shakes. Some machines detect small shakes. Other machines detect big shakes. There are different kinds of earthquakes. Small earthquakes are normal. They usually aren't dangerous. Big earthquakes are dangerous. They can cause a lot of damage, and they can also trigger a volcanic eruption. So how do scientists know if an eruption is going to happen? Scientists look for signs that tell them if a volcano might erupt soon. They look for small earthquakes. They also watch for changes in the shape of a volcano. They take samples of the air and water around the volcano. All these are clues that help scientists predict if a volcano might erupt. And this is important because if a volcano erupts, people nearby need to know about it ahead of time. Then they can get away from the volcano. In this way, everyone stays safe. Part 5: Types of Volcanoes. Hey, volcano. Are you enjoying learning about volcanoes? Yeah. Are there lots of different types of volcanoes? Yes, there are many different types of volcanoes. There are mountains that look like bowls. They are called calderas. Some volcanoes are shaped like cones. They're formed by layers of lava and ash. Most volcanoes look like cones. They're tall and pointy. Some volcanoes are underwater. They're called seamounts. A volcano doesn't need to be pointy to be a volcano. It just needs to have magma underneath. Part 6: Helpful or harmful. Volcano. Do you think volcanoes are helpful or harmful? That's a good question. Volcanoes can be both helpful and harmful. It depends. When a volcano erupts, it releases lava and ash. Lava is hot and destroys everything in its path. It can burn forests and houses. Ash can make people cough. It can also bury towns. People need to stay away from volcanoes because they can be dangerous. But volcanoes can also be helpful. After a volcano erupts, its lava cools. The lava makes new land. Plants grow on the new land. Animals can live there, too. So volcanoes help nature by making new habitats for plants and animals. Humans use volcanoes to help grow plants. The ash left behind by a volcano is full of minerals. Minerals help plants grow big and strong. Part 7: Let's review. Now it's time to review what you learned. Hey there, Volcano. Can you tell me about volcanoes? Sure thing. Volcanoes are holes in the crust of the earth. They allow magma to escape from the earth's mantle. When magma reaches the surface of the earth, we call it lava. Hot gas, steam, ash, smoke and rocks come out of a volcano. Together, they're called a volcanic eruption. A volcanic eruption happens when the pressure under the crust is too high. An eruption can be small or large. It can last for hours or days. Some eruptions blow the top off the volcano. The hole left behind is called a crater. When magma erupts, it creates new land. The land is full of minerals. Minerals help plants grow. So volcanoes can be helpful to humans in nature. Not all volcanoes look the same. Some are underwater. Some are shaped like bowls. Others are tall and pointy. And although volcanoes can be helpful, they can also be harmful. Their lava can destroy plants and buildings. Their ash can hurt people's lungs. So scientists study volcanoes to help keep people safe. There are lots of amazing things to learn about volcanoes. Keep asking questions and someday you might discover something new. Great job, Volcano. You really know a lot about volcanoes. Thanks for watching, kids. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mini Science. Leave a comment below to let us know what you want to learn about next. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. See you next time.